Welcome and good evening. Thank you for joining us in another one of our Unity of Tustin Conscious Conversation midweek services. I'm Reverend Clive deLaporte, and on behalf of the ministry and community of Unity of Tustin, thank you for blessing us with your presence and participation this evening. I am particularly excited about this evening's service and conscious conversation because we have two of our very own parenting gurus joining us later on in the service, Linda and Hatfield. Our conversation today is an extension of Sunday's teaching, Parenting a New World. And we'll discuss with Linda and Ty the characteristics of evidence-based parenting and how each one of us is indeed a parent of what is true and right and good in our lives and in the world. This is the last time this month that we get to light the candle of understanding, of divine understanding, and we take a moment to affirm the blessing of divine understanding, the ability to apprehend and comprehend and to know the grace and good of the divine Christ within us. We take this moment to affirm that for one and all. In particular, we take this moment to bless everyone on our prayer list, our prayer request list for the month of July. We open our hearts lovingly to every name on that list, and we see the divine Christ blessing them and their lives with a powerful demonstration of God's grace and God's good. Each Wednesday, we include music videos as part of our insight and inspiration for our Conscious Conversation service. This Wednesday, we are featuring the music of Karen Drucker, and our first song this evening from Karen is Thank You for This Day.
Say thank you, thank you, thank you, 'cause I'm so grateful, oh grateful, I'm so grateful. So I want to say thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Now thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. 'Cause I'm so grateful. So grateful. So grateful. So grateful. So grateful. So grateful. I'm so grateful. So grateful. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. Just thank you. Thank you. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 'Cause I'm so grateful. Yeah. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I wanna just say thank you now. Just thank you now. 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 Each and every day I'm gonna say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen, for the blessing of that song. That brings us to our daily word reading, our inspirational reading for this evening. And the word is serve. The affirmation, I am blessed and thankful to be in the service of Spirit. I am blessed and thankful to be in the service of Spirit. I desire to express my divine nature in everything I say and do. I bless the world and everyone in it when I joyously share the truth that I know. As I serve, I regard each person as a unique expression of the divine. I greet them with love and compassion and give no expectation to how I might be greeted. I look beyond our differences and see all as brothers and sisters on a similar spiritual path. No matter the service that I am offering or the gifts that I am giving, I am committed to sharing love that transcends all else. I am blessed to serve. As I give to others, in the service of Spirit and in our shared humanity and divinity, I find spiritual connection. I find that spiritual connection grows within me even stronger. In serving and in giving, I am blessed to receive. The sacred text for today is Mark 10:45. For the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life in the service of others. What wonderfully inspiring words. We open our minds and our hearts to the insight and inspiration of our reading today, as I invite you now to join me in a time of meditation. Divine Father, Divine Mother, in the light and love and life of the Christ, we come together in the oneness of community today. We invite the body to relax and open our minds and hearts to the awareness of oneness with your divine presence and power within. Today we affirm that we are blessed to serve each other as brothers and sisters on a similar spiritual path. We recognize and celebrate in one and all the individual and uniqueness of the divine experience. We are blessed to serve in body and in mind and in spirit. We find our purpose in sharing our Christness with each other. We decline to be judgmental of anyone who is an unfolding expression of their divinity. Instead, we support each other with love and care, encouragement and uplifting in our experience and expression of the divine Christ that we are. With that attitude and intention in our heart, let us come together now in a time of silence. Returning your awareness to your heart space, and as always, a feeling of gratitude. We are thankful for the divine within us and the intention that we have set to serve each other in parenting our greater good. Thank you, God, and so it is. That brings us to the conscious conversation for this evening. We will now share with you an interview that I was blessed to have with Linda and Ty Hatfield, authors of the book ParentShift and part of our very own Unity of Tustin community. Join us now as we share that blessing together. Well, so this evening we are doubly blessed to be able to welcome Linda and Ty Hatfield, our Unity of Tustin very own parenting gurus, to our conversation this evening. Linda and Ty, thanks for joining us on the topic of parenting.
Thank you, Clive. Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah.
Our favorite topic to talk about.
Yeah. Thanks, Clive. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Well, you know, when I was thinking of the message for this Sunday, this past Sunday, on parenting being the 4th Sunday of July and Parents' Day in the US, of course, your name came to mind, you know, and I thought to myself, what a perfect marriage of a minister and somebody who has a ministry within Unity of Tustin, to have the two of you come and talk to us about parenting, and also to give an opportunity for you once again to share your book, ParentShift, 10 Universal Truths That Will Change the Way You Raise Your Kids. I'd like to kick off our conversation this evening by asking you what inspired and motivated you to write that book?
Well, I was working in the police department in Long Beach, and I was a supervisor, and I was being sent to a leadership program. And at the end of it, I was inspired to do something more than just police work, something more that can help the world. And my inspiration was my wife, my beautiful wife, who's a lovely mother of our 3 daughters. And I didn't have parents like her. And I thought, the rest of the world needs to know how to parent like my wife does, not really like me. But I'm a goofy dad, and we could throw in some goofy stuff in this book. And so I asked her if she'd be willing to write a book about parenting, her favorite thing to do in the whole world. And she reluctantly said,
Well, mind you, it's 1999 and we have 3 kids, 6, 8, and 9. He is full-time police officer and just got off the SWAT team for 7 or 8 years. And it was during Rodney King time even.
Oh my.
Ironically, as with everything going on right now. And so I said to him, are you out of your mind? You're gone 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. I'm barely swimming in all of this, and you want us to write a parenting book. And I said, no, I'm not doing that.
You know, I find that when sometimes, and more often than not, when the divine question is so ludicrous, it's exactly the right time to do it. Well, that's wonderful. So give us an update. How's the book doing? And of course, this is obviously a platform for a ministry that you have now. Give us an update on how things are going.
Well, I just want to tie up the ends of that, but we started writing this book and realized that we took a parenting class just for the book, and we realized, oh gosh, there's so much to learn about parenting that even her teacher education didn't prepare us as well for parenting. So we were doing all the mistakes, and we were going to write about doing those mistakes, like bribery, rewards, and punishment. And
well, time out.
Yeah.
We weren't spankers. We would do time out because I was a child development major. I taught elementary school for 6 years back in the early 80s, and we were taught to use bribery, reward, time out, all that external motivation. So I was basically, that's how I was raising the girls, with that model. And so when it came time to write the book, like Ty said, those are the things we were going to write about. But I found this parenting class in Parenting Magazine. And when we took the class, it gave all this information on why not to use bribery, rewards, timeout. And it was all research-based, evidence-based from really the last 100 years of parenting that I was very unaware of, even with my education. So that's what really sent us on the path to read every parenting book out there. And this is back in 1999. So we've been at this for a very, very long time. And we got certified in a course called Redirecting Children's Behavior, which was international at the time. And we started teaching that course here in Orange County. And we taught it for about, 5-6 years. And we were, what do you call it, of Orange County. We're the directors of Orange County for that program. So, yeah. Then in 2005, I went back to get my master's degree in spiritual psychology from the University of Santa Monica. And my project was to write our own parenting program because we had been dappling in everybody else's for so many years, right? And that's where we got our 18-hour course from, which then led to the writing of the book, putting it all together.
And our co-author, Wendy Thomas Russell, was a parent in our class with her husband about 8 years ago. And they had the paradigm shift that we got. And she was a writer. And 5 years later or 6 years later, we collaborated with her to write our book, ParentShift.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I love the way, and thank you for expanding on that and giving us almost a organic outline of how this developed in your own lives and then came to be a book, right? So sometimes, so often people go, hey, I'm just going to write a book.
That's what we did.
Oh, no.
That was us 21 years ago. Right?
That was you.
I'm going to write a book and then I'm rich and famous. And it seems like this book came out of a very heart-centered experience that you had together in life as parents.
Yes.
And then, of course, the discovery and the paradigm shift you had of this whole new evidence-based way of parenting, right? And obviously something that you've applied in your own family experience.
Oh, yes. Everything in the book we have done. There's nothing in there that we haven't lived with our own children.
The
family meetings, the job. I mean, we did it all. And we live that way in our home, even from our class, our 18-hour class we teach. It actually makes it easier to write a book and to teach the class because we live it.
Right.
I don't live it perfectly. The book is written at a very high level. The class is written at a very high level. It's something to reach for and to attain. No one's going to do it perfectly. We're practicing all the time. But when we fall off, we get back on. That's the program to get back on to. So it's okay. You know, we teach, we're going to make mistakes. We always say we're not perfect parents, but we're definitely a connected family. And I use our own material as a resource to get back on board in alignment with our own children.
Wonderful. So give us a quick update again on how the book's doing and how your ministry, and I call it ministry because, you know, my whole world is about ministry. Yeah. How's it going? Give us a quick update.
Actually, we just got informed that we won our 7th award for the book. So we've gotten 7 awards for the writing of the book.
Right.
And so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We have an international reach now, which we never had before. Somebody in Norway just contacted us. So
also, we're being published in 3 languages, Chinese, Spanish, and we just found out about a month ago it's going to be published in Korean.
Wonderful.
That's very exciting.
And then we were in the middle of teaching our 18-hour class locally here in Huntington Beach, and then we paused because of the COVID-19 situation. And actually, we wrote a book called Quarantined with Kids, which is just an ebook to help parents in this quarantine time. And so now we're starting up the class, the second half of the class, which we paused, to do it on Zoom. So we're doing a lot of coaching on Zoom and the class on Zoom. And so actually we're having a better reach internationally once we get started here in the Zoom world.
Zoom world.
Which we're doing right now, right?
Yes, well, you know, I think a lot of people that I talk to these days are feeling kind of zoomed out with all of their Zoom meetings.
Yes.
And so thank you for taking the time to join us on Zoom this evening. I want to transition now because the reason I'm excited about talking to the two of you was just to get your insight on this idea that came to me in preparing for Sunday's message, that each one of us as human beings with divine potential have the principle of the divine parent within us. And that principle has a divine purpose, and it's there to give us the ability and power to birth things, to nurture things, to nourish what is divinely true and good in us, in each other, and in our world. And, you know, I was just excited about getting your insights on that idea that we have in us that divine principle that is empowering us to be parents in a universal sense of the good that we desire in ourselves, each other, and the world. What are your thoughts on that?
I love that you're bringing that up, Clive, because we do talk about in our class that our book or our classes, our information, it's not just for parent-child. It's for all relationships in our life. Our material is really about this relationship with our partners. It's about our neighbors. It's about our bosses. It's about our own parents. It's for everybody because it's high communication skills. It's really teaching people, it's really connecting with people, you know, with high respect and giving people the dignity of their own process. And it's a very loving approach. We're not into advice giving and fixing and correcting, letting people unfold as they're intended to unfold in their own time with love and support and connection and it's relationship based, and we're not into the punishment, revenge, and all those kind of things that we do in the adult world. So it really is a book for all relationships, not just children, because we are parenting each other one way or another, and even our pets, you know, like we've had plenty of pets, and I feel like I parent our pets this way, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. And also it's about parenting yourself. You know, we didn't have perfect parents, so there's some more nurturing that we need to do for ourselves that maybe we didn't get as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were neglected, maybe you don't even know that you're missing some nurturing. So really stepping into doing things for yourself that help soothe you, comfort you, doing the things that support your spiritual growth.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people in neglect don't even know that that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that you have identified that we have within us the parenting potential, right? And I think it also warrants mentioning and considering that, you know, sometimes we as adults think that we are no longer children. But the truth is that every aspect of our human experience remains alive within us, right? And just as we take time to nurture and develop our maturity as an adult, and maybe our awareness and ability as a parent, and parenting ourselves and parenting each other, parenting truth and good in our lives and in our world, we also, I think, need to remember that there are times for us to be childish, to be children again, right? To play, almost to maintain that sense of childlike awe and wonder, childlike curiosity, inquisitiveness. I was fascinated to visit some friends of mine recently that have a newborn baby. And I noticed that this child was still in the crawling stage, but every single thing that it looked at just fascinated it, you know. It picked up something in this particular incident when I was observing. Her name was Mary Ann. She was crawling around on the floor while we were sitting chatting on the carpet. And she picked up something on the carpet and she looked at it with such intensity, like, what is this? You know, and then she put it in her mouth. So
let me taste it.
yeah, let me experience this fascinating thing completely with all my senses. And the divine moment for me was, you know, we lose a lot of that as adults. We take so much of the magic and mystery of the world in our lives for granted. And children just seem to be in that phase where everything is just so fascinating.
I think you're reminding me of our 7 emotional needs, because, you know, as children and as adults, we're really just trying to get the 7 emotional needs met on a daily basis, which we have in the acronym SPECIAL. You know, they stand for smile, to smile, fun, laughter, and play, to feel powerful, is P. E is experiment and explore, which you were just describing. C is for connection. I is for important. A is for attention, and L is for love. And when we have all our emotional needs met, we feel we belong in the world. And as children, we're trying to get those met on a daily basis. And sometimes adults in our lives get in the way of us trying to get those met. But also as an adult, we need to meet our own emotional needs daily in the same way as a child would, in that child realm, and to be nurturing and parenting our own little happy child and wounded child. Because you're right, we're every age we've ever been. It's still alive and well in us. So I agree with that.
Wonderful.
And the parenting is super important too, which some parents come to us and say, I don't know how to play with my kids because my parents never played with me. So it's relearning of stepping into the play world and do things playful. The opposite of that is being a workaholic. Work. It's all about money and all that. And I've been guilty of that too. Or, so you really have to balance your life with some play, and children teach us a lot about play. If you just watch a child or be with a child, they're going to pull you into playing.
And also, if I'm not taking care of my emotional needs, I'm going to find it very difficult to help my child get their emotional needs met. Because if I don't have $1, I can't give you $1. So the self-care around that is super important. The better I take care of my own emotional needs as a parent or as an adult, the easier it's going to be for me to help you get your emotional needs met. Because my cup is full, now I can help you.
I love that. That is such a profound and powerful spiritual principle that we practice in unity, in our unity philosophy. And it has a Gandhi source. You've got to be the thing that you want to experience in your life and the contribution you want to make to the world. And also, Ty, I liked your idea is that if as an adult you have forgotten how to play, go hang out with the guys who know how to play, go hang out with your kids, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll teach you how to bring in or bring out that inner child again. And yes, play is such an important part.
In poor countries, even when there's war, there's children with bombs going on above them. They're playing with some duct tape or, a ball of some kind of made out of a fake ball. Genius. They are playing while craziness is going on, which is helpful for the soul of the person.
Wonderful. So in that context, I would love and Linda, I think you might have touched on this already, but walk us through it again if there is a sharing that you have on what the ideal characteristics of a successful parent or successful parenting. What are the bullet points, would you think?
Well, we're research-based, evidence-based, and relationship-based parenting. So it's really, to me, around the parent being aware of the 10 universal truths that are in our book. Because when we understand like developmental stages, and I understand temperament styles, and I understand the brain research, when I understand the emotional needs, when I understand that children are a bundle of feelings and I need to acknowledge your feelings like crazy every day. That's how you communicate with me. When I understand that the behavior is the messenger and that I don't need to use bribery and rewards and punishments and timeouts in order to get the cooperation from you, because it's relationship based. We know the deeper the connection, the more I'm following these universal truths, the child will want to cooperate with me naturally. They naturally want to. They naturally will unfold in their own time for how they're intended to show up on the planet. So, to me, it's really about parents moving away from the old paradigm of the autocratic parenting style or permissive parenting style and moving into this heart-centered parenting style, which is a style in of itself with certain qualities attached to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's all about the relationship, like it always is with everything. The deeper connection without permissiveness or autocratic, the better cooperation we're going to get, harmony in the home.
And I would say be willing to be a self-correcting parent.
Yes.
So when your child has a tantrum and you have an even bigger tantrum over their tantrum,
yes.
you self-reflect and you go, okay, that didn't work so well. I wonder what's going on, and you look for resources or help to, how do I handle a tantrum,
Mm-hmm.
and just being willing to get more information about how you can be a better parent,
Ty, as parents, do we get to go with the tantrum first, or is it always the kid that has the tantrum? Can you imagine the scene where the kids are counseling mom and dad, while they're having a tantrum? So that ties in very nicely and provides a transition for our final question in our conscious conversation about parenting this evening. Like anything, we are born with these divine potentials, but these divine potentials need to be developed in each one of us. Many of us are just haven't naturally, automatically, instantaneously mastered the divine potential of parenting. And we make mistakes, of course. So any guidelines that you can give, the first one that comes to my mind is just persevere, but guidelines that you can give to those of us who know that we need to be better parents for our families, our children, ourselves, our friends, in every human connection and community we find ourselves. What are some guidelines for improving our parenting abilities?
Can I say, I want
Sure.
to just, I like what you use the word master, because we will never master any relationship in our lives. If I were to ask Ty, have I mastered this relationship after 32 years of marriage? The answer would probably be no.
Vice versa.
And so it's not about perfection. It's not about mastery. It's about word I like to use is reparative parenting, kind of like what Ty said. It's about me being self-corrective. It's about me recognizing that I'm off course. It's about self-compassion for myself. I'm doing the best I can with the knowledge I have right now. We all went to parenting school, didn't we, for 18 years. I went to one school, and then he went to a different school, and then we get married, and sometimes one school's better than the other, and then we try to parent our kids. So I think the main thing people can do is educate yourself. There's so much great parenting information out there nowadays, and it's easy to access. And there's a lot of great books. And, our parents, it's not about beating up on our parents. They didn't have as much access to information like we do nowadays. And so they were doing the best we can. But I think this generation coming up now won't really have a reason that they couldn't do better, because the access is there, So I don't know if you want to add to any of that.
I do have one tip for parents is that really get a great book like ParentShift.
Yeah.
Or your Child's Self-Esteem, which is an old classic, but versus articles, because there's a lot of writers out there who are just writers and not really parenting experts, but they'll interview people like us, and they'll interview 3 other people, and we'll be quoted in the article, but then the other people quoted is total opposite of what we believe in, so it gets very confusing. So I would highly recommend they look for a book that has in alignment for what they need, versus articles. And
also, I don't even consider us a philosophy, because we are so research evidence-based parenting program, and we've studied the last 100 years of parents all the way back to Adler, which is in the early 1900s. And so, to me, we're beyond any kind of philosophy, because I don't even agree with some of the stuff we write sometimes. I joke about that. It's so much easier to put a child in timeout, right? It's so much easier just to yell at you and tell you to go to your room. That's easy. What we're asking you to do is harder in the beginning, but the payoff at the end is so much grandiose. So I really encourage parents to really follow the brain research and developmental stages and things like that.
Wonderful. It sounds like the spiritual principle of the journey is more important than the destination, right? So
parenting with the end in mind, absolutely.
And I would say the golden rule is to treat other people like you want to be treated. So treat your child as you want to be treated as an adult or even as a child too.
That's one of our questions we have, like, to know if you're on track, is how would I want to be treated as a child or an adult in a similar situation? How would I want to be treated? Would I want somebody yelling at me or spanking me or criticizing me or whatever, these punishing me because I made a mistake? You know,
manipulating me
or
by a reward.
Right, manipulating me with bribery and rewards. And so how would I want to be treated as a child or an adult in a similar situation is really a crucial question.
Well, that is a wonderful place on the do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Little old English thrown in there, little archaic English. Linda and Ty, unfortunately, our time is up, but what a blessing that you have been to us this evening. And of course, what a blessing you continue to be to Unity of Tustin as members and friends and contributing ministries within our one large Unity of Tustin ministry. Thank you for your insight tonight. You have been a blessing. We look forward to seeing you in person very soon. Until then, our prayers and our empowering thoughts are with you.
Thank you, Clive. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you so much. You're a blessing as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Be well.
Be well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Our gratitude and thanks again to Linda and Ty Hatfield for blessing us with some of their time and sharing their talent and their insights on parenting and how we can all be parents of a greater good within us and a greater divine good in our lives and in our world. That brings us now to a time for another music video. And again, we are featuring Karen Drucker this evening. And Karen will now share a song with us, All Is Well.
All is well, I can rest, I am safe. All is well, all is well, I can rest, I am safe. All is well, all is well, I can rest, I am safe. All is well, all is well, I can rest, I am safe. All is well, all is well, I can rest, I am safe. All is well, 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 I can rest, I am safe. All is well, all is well, I can rest, I am safe. All is well, all is well, I can rest, I am safe. All is well, all is well, I can rest, I am safe. All is well, all is well,
Thank you, Karen, for reminding us that when we are in the oneness of spirit, indeed all is well. That brings us to our offering affirmation for this evening. I'd like to take a moment, as always, to thank you for your ongoing financial support of the Ministry of Unity of Tustin, and remind you that your financial support helps us to continue this ministry in fulfilling its vision and its spiritual mission. You can go to our website to the donation tab there, or you can click on the donation button on this live Facebook broadcast and be taken to a safe platform where you can bless us with an offering this evening. I invite you now to open your heart to the recital of the offering affirmation as we bless our offering tonight. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. I am so blessed. A quick update on what is coming up in our Wednesday evening services, and also a reminder that we are now holding meditation garden open air Sunday services every Sunday at 11 a.m. Be sure to keep an eye on the Friday morning e-blast newsletter that goes out with more detailed information. I am happy to announce that in the month of August, we will be blessed by 2 guest speakers on the Sundays that I am off, and also those guest speakers will then join us on the following Wednesday to be part of our conversation, our Conscious Conversation series. The first guest speaker giving us a music message event will be Daniel Namod on August the 9th, and then on August the 23rd we will be blessed by the presence and teaching of Phil Goldberg. Personally, I'm looking forward to that and hope that these 2 guest speakers will be a blessing to you too. Also a reminder that our Wednesday evening broadcast is now at 6:30, so be sure to amend your calendars for that. And next Wednesday, August the 5th, we'll be blessed by Reverend Paulette Pipe, who runs the website podcast ministry of Touching the Stillness. Very excited about Reverend Paulette joining us next Wednesday. Reverend Paulette is considered to be a leading voice on prayer and meditation in the Unity movement. I hope you've been blessed by our service this evening. I invite you now to join us as we close out with the benediction and the blessing of the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Blessings to you. Thank you again on behalf of Unity of Tustin for being present and participating in our service this evening. Until we see you again online or in person at a safe and socially distant Sunday service in our meditation garden, know that you are not alone. You are always and ever with us, and we hold you in our hearts, our thoughts, and prayers.